Good morning, everyone. While we're waiting for others to get in and get settled, now's a good time to grab anything you need to get comfortable. Maybe it's a glass of water or a hot cup of tea or coffee. Also, if you have items at home and you'd like to smudge with us, it's a good time to grab those items as we begin to ignite the healing within. If you don't have smudge at home, relatives, that's okay. We'll send some cleansing, healing, and positive energy your way. It's a new week. It's a new day. Another sunrise and another sunset and another phase of the moon. This is our opportunity to take a moment to reflect on how we're feeling and what it is that we want and need to move forward on our wellness path today. So welcome, everyone. Aloha, kakahiaka, hello, and good morning. My name is Malia, and I'm a community healer at the HIR Wellness Institute. We are a nonprofit organization that focuses on the mental health and wellness of our relatives of Turtle Island, as well as other Indigenous and underserved communities, and also victims of crime. You can join us here every Monday through Friday at 8 a.m., where we will always breathe, stretch, and explore ways to integrate self-care and wellness into our daily lives. And we will always honor our cultural traditions, our customs, our ancestry, our strength, and our resilience. So thank you so much for joining us this morning, relatives. I'd like to take a moment to recognize our HIR Wellness Institute team members who are here to serve you. We have our facilitator for this morning and also our advocacy director and a community healer. She is also a beautiful Ho-Chunk woman, Barbara Black Deer McKenzie. Good morning, Barbara. How you doing? Happy Monday. As well, we also have our occupational therapist, another beautiful spirit, and always here to help, Claudia Meyer-Smith. Good morning, Claudia. How are you? Relatives, Barbara and Claudia and myself, we are here to serve you in this circle of care. And in this circle of care, we're practicing what our founder, Leah Denny, has coined and developed as community-activated medicine. And community-activated medicine means that the people are the medicine. And that gives us the opportunity every morning to just stop and take a moment to reflect on what we're feeling. And we do that because once we know how we feel, then we can decide what it is that we need. And the beauty of each of us as individuals is what you need is completely determined by you. And we can talk about how you're feeling. We can reflect on it. Whether you're having a great day or whether it's not a good day at all. I will always encourage us to come here as you are. With the good, the bad, the ugly, all of it. And with that, relatives, whether you're new to these videos or you've been here since the beginning of these videos over a year ago, almost a year and a month ago, since COVID began, you're always welcome here to check in. And you're always welcome here to say what you need to say. Good morning, Sandra K. How are you doing? How you doing, everybody? Let's talk about it. For my check-in this morning, I actually got I don't know if you can see this little blemish right here. I I don't get them anymore, so it was weird. Yesterday I had a blemish, so I'm like, wow, that's new. It's been a long time since I got a pimple. It's Monday, relatives. What do you need today? What do you need? While we're taking a moment to reflect on how you're feeling, we can go ahead and do a body scan. For those of us who aren't necessarily used to identifying how we're feeling, a body scan can help us. You can close your eyes if you want, but you don't have to. And we can start at the top of the head, scan our forehead and temples, paying attention to areas where you might feel discomfort or tension. It might even feel like physical pain. We're going to move on down to our jawline and our neck and shoulders, our chest. Does it feel tight there, or do you feel relaxed? We'll move on down to our tummy. Did you have a good breakfast? Do you feel full? Maybe your tummy is empty or hungry. Might even be sore from something you ate yesterday. It still might be sitting in your tummy. And we'll move on down to our hips, our thighs, our knees, and our calves, our ankles, heels and arches of our feet, to the ball of our feet and our toes. And we'll work our way to our upper back and middle back and lower back. And finally our arms, elbows, forearms, wrists, palms, and fingertips. Let's take a moment to scan our heart. How's your heart feel? Does it feel full of joy or peace? Or maybe there's feelings or emotions that are lying heavy there. Maybe your heart feels free. And lastly, we'll go ahead and scan our thoughts. Does your mind feel invigorated or well rested and ready for the day? Maybe your mind feels worried. Is there a lot on your mind? And maybe you feel energized and you had a great night's sleep. And with that body scan, it can help you identify how you're feeling and what you need today. So let's go ahead and do a check-in, relatives. How you doing on this beautiful spring morning? It's Monday, April 5th. And while you're taking a moment to reflect, I'm going to go ahead and brew a nice, beautiful cup of tea. This morning, I got a tea that I don't often pull out. It's been a couple of months. I have my white rose melange tea. This is a fava tea. And what's really cool about this is today, this is a white tea. For the last couple of weeks, we've generally been doing oolongs, which are, it's a really processed tea. The way that it's cured, it's very caffeinated. Well, the white teas, and I'll kind of show you the little tea. You can see the white tea leaves here. The white teas are the most minimally processed of the tea, and then goes green, and then goes the black teas. Here's the white tea leaves, and when they're minimally processed, they have less caffeine. Now, this still does have caffeine. Tea leaves does have caffeine. I'm going to give it a smell. It smells like a gorgeous bouquet of roses. And then you can see the rose petals here. Both white tea and rose petals are loaded with antioxidants. But one of the things about white teas you want to be really careful about is not to boil them. You don't want to boil white teas. You don't want to boil green teas. You want to make sure that you don't burn any of those properties in it that are really good for us. So we always make sure that when we're dealing with true teas or the Camellia sinensis, the actual tea leaf, that we do not boil them unless it says so. And that's why places like Starbucks and stuff, they do not make good tea. They boil everything and it tastes bad. So not only does it kind of kill the beneficial components in the tea, but also it'll bitter the tea. And we definitely do not want bitter tea. You want to taste the flavors in it. You don't want it to be cloudy. So you can see here I have my water. Let me pull my water over here. And now you'll notice, I'll kind of show you the inside of the pot. There's no bubbles in the tea. What I do is I take filtered water just from my tap. It has a water filter on it. And I turn the heat on low. Or if I'm in a rush, I'll turn the heat on high. But just before the water starts to bubble, I'll turn the pot off. And you'll know it's ready because it won't be steaming until you turn the pot off, and then all of a sudden it'll be a few seconds and then steam will rise up, and that's how you'll know it's ready. So I don't measure my tea, but generally, they say 2 teaspoons per 8-ounce cup of tea. I just put whatever I got in there. And this is a loose tea, so I'll have to strain it. And I give it a couple more tea leaves, I think, because it looks like I want mine a little bit stronger this morning. So I'm just going to put a couple more. And we're going to go ahead and let that, when it comes to a white tea, if you steam it, probably I would say you could let it steep for about 2 minutes to 5 minutes. I'll just leave it here for a couple minutes, and then I'll go ahead and pour it into my teacup. I'm going to grab my tea strainer here, so I have that. All right. So I got my tea strainer, left it on the kitchen counter on accident. So I'll let this strain or steep for a couple of minutes. And then I'm going to go ahead and make myself a beautiful warm cup and a cold cup of this tea so we can explore the flavors together, the difference between hot and cold. So relatives, while we're waiting for that cup of tea, what elixir do you have in your cup this morning? Let us know whether it's citrus water or kombucha or tea or coffee or vitamin water. Whatever it is you have in your cup, please do share your morning elixir. It personally is my favorite way to start the day, one of my favorite self-care practices. And let's go to the comment section and see how everyone's doing. Sandra K says, good morning. Good morning, Sandra. How are you? Claudia says, good morning, everyone. Good morning, Claudia. Barbara says, good morning. I'm doing well, except my hip and leg. Sciatica sucks. Otherwise, I'm enjoying the beautiful weather. It's supposed to be in the 80s today. Barbara, are you serious? Whoa. Okay, so where Barbara is in Wisconsin, she's a couple hours north of Milwaukee. 80s today. I did not check the weather, but that would be amazing. I could actually put on some shorts and go outside and get a tan. Dwight says, good morning. How you doing, Dwight, today? How you feeling? Thanks for being here, Dwight. Terrell says, good morning, Malia and everyone. How are you? How are you doing today, Terrell? So glad you're with us. Dwight this morning is having water. It's an excellent way to start your day, relatives. I know it doesn't always sound fancy, but it is one of the most important things. It is the most important thing that we can drink and ingest into our bodies. Our bodies, we need water for proper body functioning. We need to stay hydrated. It's a way that we can also flush out any toxins or anything that's in our body. We just need water. It is one of our it is sacred to us. It comes in many forms. I got it in ice form here. Whether you're drinking it in your tea, however you're drinking it, you can also count water as in your tea beverages as long as your tea is not caffeinated. So if you have true tea though, white tea, green tea, or black tea, those are caffeinated things, so that wouldn't count as your water. Same thing with coffee. Dwight says, I feel good today. Dwight, I'm happy. That's great. Indigo, how are you doing? Good morning. Indigo says, warm here today too. Hammock weather. Yes, relatives, the spring is here. And over the course of the next couple of weeks, and actually maybe you have so far, relatives, have any of you out there started your seeds yet? If you've started your seeds for your garden, your indoor seeds to take out for the garden this spring when you plant, let us know. I'll be starting indoor seeds here in just a few weeks, so I'm really excited for that. Last year we had, I grew pumpkins and zucchini squash and cucumbers and organic heirloom tomatoes, and we just grew so much stuff, marigolds, tobacco, Hopi tobacco, and also some tobacco that was given as seeds by a friend from Standing Rock when she was out there protesting, and lemon balm, and it was awesome. I'm so looking forward to it. All right, relatives, so our tea's been steeping for a while. Let's go ahead and take a look at how it's been brewing. And you can kind of see here, the tea leaves are kind of unfolding. And then we got my little strainer here. I'm just going to pour nice and gentle. And relatives, did you have a wonderful weekend? How was your Easter? Okay, so now you can see this beautiful cup of tea. I even have little flecks of the tea leaf that came through in the strainer, but that's perfectly okay. Let me give it a smell. It doesn't have as strong as a floral flavor once it's been steeped, but it still smells great. I can't wait to try it. A toast to Monday. We may not always look forward to it, but alas, here is the day. May you have a wonderful week, full of moments of sunlight, of warmth, of hope for the future and spring and the upcoming seasons. May you have moments of self-care, wellness, and reflection today and for the rest of the week. Cheers to you. So much love to all relatives. This tea, I love this one. White Rose Melange, relatives. I will say about this tea that it is one of my favorite flavors. It literally tastes like drinking honeysuckle and rose. It tastes gorgeous. It would go perfect with honey, local honey. It goes great as an iced tea or as a hot tea. It's absolutely delicious. Mmm, that's such a good tea. I love this one. I love them all though. Pretty much, I love them all. Okay, Terrell says, having my water and turmeric and ginger tea. Found a lemon and ginger jam for teas and warm water. Trying it with this tea this morning. Very tasty. Terrell, that sounds delicious. Turmeric and ginger with lemon and ginger jam. Yum, that sounds perfect. Allison, good morning, Allison. How you doing? Glad you're here with us. Cheers to you, Allison. What do you have in your elixir this morning? Do you have one, Allison? If you do, share with us. Dwight says, I had an awesome weekend. What'd you do this weekend, relatives? I know things aren't always, sometimes things aren't always going great. But sometimes we have those moments where it's awesome, where we got to celebrate, where we got to be with loved ones, or we got to reflect or rest. So let us know, how was your Sunday? Did you celebrate Easter? Maybe you didn't. Maybe it's not part of your beliefs. That's okay too. But did you have a weekend where you had moments of care, or moments of relaxation. Go ahead and share with us, relatives. If you had a great time, wonderful. Dwight, I'm glad you did. But for those of our relatives who had those moments of peace, who were able to spend time with family, did you practice moments of joy? Moments just to be in the moment, just to experience love and laughter and happiness. And for those of our relatives, maybe the weekend wasn't so awesome. If you're not doing okay today, I'll always be here to remind you that it's okay not to be okay. That's why we're here, to reflect on what it is you need. Maybe sometimes you just need to know that you're not alone. We all need those times, even for those of our relatives who are really independent. I know you are. I want you to know I see you. But even being independent, even if you're used to doing everything on your own, because you've never been able to trust that someone's going to be there for you, sometimes it really helps to allow yourself to be vulnerable. Because sometimes our strength means that we can allow others in and to see us for who we are. And as tough as you are, relatives, and I know you are, and as resilient as you are, that vulnerability of saying, you know what, I do need someone to talk to. I do need to lean on to someone. I do want someone to hug me sometimes. I do need someone to ask me if I'm okay. Allowing ourselves to take that armor off once in a while. If we're not okay, it's okay not to be okay. But if you're feeling that way, relatives, just know you're not alone. And there's things that you can do. And if you're not doing okay, you can always talk to someone that you trust. Maybe it's a family member, or a friend, or a coworker. You can always call our Cares Warm line. You can text it too. It's open every Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. And you can call or text, and within 24 hours, you'll get a response back from one of our Cares Warm counselors. You can talk about what's on your mind. You can take that mask off for a moment. You can take that armor off. You can talk about whatever it is that's bothering you. Maybe you're anxious or nervous or sad. Maybe you know that you're feeling some sort of way, but you don't know exactly what it is you're feeling. You can't pinpoint it, but you just need to talk it out. We'll hold space for you with respect and care and dignity, judgment-free and stigma-free. And not only, relatives, can we connect you with emotional support and to hold space for you, but we can also provide you with resources that might be helpful for you. Resources in advocacy, safety planning, seeking shelter, and more. What do you need, relatives? That's what we're here for. We're not here to tell you what you need. I'm not here to tell you what you need. We're here to honor when you take your time to reflect on what it is that you feel you need. And if you don't know what you need, that's okay. That's why we reflect. And we'll explore ways every time that we're here together, ways to discover how we can determine for our own selves what feels good and what feels right on our healing path. I'm never here to tell you what to do. We're just here to hold space for each other and to support each other and inspire each other and really just to give each other love. Don't need to underestimate that. Love is important. And if you could just come here to get some love and have some reflection back at you and to just have some warmth shine on you, that's my favorite thing about being here, is we can give each other some love. All right, let's go back to the comments, see how everyone's doing. Ellison, cheers to you. Dwight says, I had an awesome weekend. Okay, sorry guys, I read this already. Ellison says, hydrogen-rich room temperature water in my cup this morning. A pleasant weekend moment included listening to the spring sounds outside my window with my cat. I dig it, Ellison. Hydrogen-rich room temperature water. That's exactly how I like my water, Ellison. It's easy on the teeth. It's easy on the tummy. Love it. The sounds of spring, relatives. I hope you heard them. This past weekend, the birds are out. The wind in the trees. And with spring. So I made this warm cup of tea of my white rose melange. I'm going to switch it up a little bit. I'm going to do the iced tea. Tea, same pot, same strainer. But this time I'm just going to serve it over ice. Look at all the beautiful rose petals in there and tea leaves. I love it. I even have more left over, so I can even have another cup to top it off later. So I've been really into the iced teas the last few days as we're getting into spring and eventually summer, which just seems so strange. It seems like it was a long time ago. But here's what the same tea looks like over ice, and you can see why they call it white tea. It's minimally processed. The tea leaves do have a whiter tone and color, but look, even the way it brews, lighter in color. Love this tea. Let's try it iced. Iced tea. Goes down easy as an iced tea. Seriously does taste like drinking in like honeysuckle and rose. There is no honeysuckle in it, but that's what it reminds me of. The flavor is so, so good. All right, relatives, let's go ahead and get into some deep breathing. Every time we meet, I like to do some deep breathing and stretching. And here's why. We all walk with pain and we all walk with trauma. And sometimes that pain can make it hard to just be in the present. That, along with our busy lives, our obligations, our bills, our responsibilities, our jobs, whether you get paid for them or not. Some of us are at home taking care of, mom and dad or children or grandma and grandpa or spouse or whoever you're taking care of. You might be that person in your group that everybody goes to for support and for respite and for advice, and then you're trying to fit in your self-care, you're trying to fit in cooking and eating nutritious, and you name it, your responsibilities seem never ending sometimes. And when we're in this way of overworking, we're in a society where working too much is almost like commended, it's expected of us, and when we're in a society where, we have to put those kinds of things before our own well-being, it can be really hard to be present because we're worried about what's coming next and all of our responsibilities, and we're also stressed out about the things that happened, and it really can take us away from being present. Deep breathing allows us to be present. It slows down the heart rate. It can slow down a racing mind. It helps to center us and ground us. Interestingly enough, when we experience trauma, not only do we have stress and anxiety and sadness about the past, but we tend to stress and worry about what's coming next. And when that happens, we are skipping the present altogether. And you might notice that you're not present if you're constantly worried about what's coming, if you're worried about the past, if you're having trouble sleeping, if you're one of those people who has trouble paying attention to what's going on around you, if you're driving to work and you don't know how, you don't remember the drive there, if people are having a conversation with you and you are not at all listening to what they're saying, those can be indicators of and signs of not being grounded and not being present. Deep breathing will bring you to the present. You know what else will bring you to the present? If you're freaking out or your mind's like racing or you're just like in that rabbit hole of everything but exactly where you're at right this moment, there's a few things you can do. You can deep breathe. If you're sitting at a table or a desk, you can put your hands or right on the table, like right here, right now. This is where I am. Connect to whatever you need to in the present. And another thing you can do is literally you can start identifying the things that are around you. Like you can look around, what do you see? For me, when I look straight ahead, I see pictures on the wall. I see a table in front of me. I see a cup of tea next to me. Those kinds of things will bring you right here to the present. That is inherently healing, is to be right here, right now. So let's go to our deep breathing. We can sit, lay, or recline however we like. I'm going to put my hands gently in my lap. You can close your eyes if you want to, but you don't have to. We're going to take a deep inhale through the nose. And we're going to exhale through the mouth for a count of 8. As we do that, I invite you, relatives, to pick a positive word. What's something that you need today? Do you need peace? Do you need joy? Do you need relaxation? Do you need laughter? Do you need love? Do you need health? Do you need to be pain-free? Do you need whatever you need? Pick a word. I invite you to pick it, and we'll breathe with it. Let's breathe it in. Here we go. Deep inhale. And exhale through the mouth. Deep inhale. And exhale. Deep inhale. And exhale. Deep inhale. And exhale. Oh, I have a good word to share, but we'll stretch first. We'll go into our stretch. We can roll our shoulders. Relatives, you can sit, lay, recline, breathe how you want, and also stretch how you want. I always start with the shoulders because we hold lots of tension here. Let's release it. Take a deep inhale. Spread those arms out. You might yawn. If you do, release it. It's okay. We're going to stretch the shoulder and upper back, rolling the wrists. Other side. Oh, that feels good this morning. We're going to take a deep inhale. Exhale, extend the arm in front of us, stretching the forearm and wrist. If you don't like this, you can roll your wrist or choose a stretch. You might want to get up, touch your toes, whatever you need, relatives. Clasp those fingers and palms up if you want. Gently bending from side to center. Let's push down on the opposite elbow to stretch the tricep. Other side. All right, and let's go ahead and stretch the neck from side to center. And double tap the ear towards the shoulder. And then we're going to roll the chin from shoulder to shoulder, keeping it in the front. And looking down gently towards our lap and up towards the ceiling. How'd that feel, relatives? What word did you pick when you deep breathed? Today I was thinking about, and yesterday and over this weekend, I was thinking about my shadow self, like the dark parts about me. You know, the parts of us that we kind of try to hide sometimes. And I was thinking about how part of the darkness of my trauma is that I kind of had always tended to look at the way that the world, how I've always felt like I look at the way that things are hurting me, or how the world hurts me, and how I, you know, as a victim of crime, as a person, as a victim of sexual assault, as a I'm like, well, a lot of the times I feel hurt and I feel victimized, and so my word today was responsible. Not that I'm responsible for those things that happened to me. Those things are not our fault. But how I can take the responsibility and action for my own self-care and wellness. Things happen to us that aren't our fault, relatives. And I'm like, you know what? I want to be responsible today for my happiness, though. So today, not every day, not all days, but today I'm going to choose to be responsible for my happiness. Almost 80 degrees out today. Why am I wearing a sweater? I need to put on a t-shirt. What was your word that you chose while you were deep breathing today? Did you have one? And today mine was responsibility. Today I'm choosing joy. I'm going to choose joy today. Let's go to the comments section. Claudia says, today is a day of reflection for me. Pausing to accept the lessons of my 6 interns since August, to recognize the wisdom collected. This will support the next interns coming in May. Clarity from taking time. Thanks for sharing your reflection, Claudia. And for honoring the wisdom of all of the interns that you were able to work with. Dwight says, my word is happiness. Thank you for sharing, Dwight. Barbara said, my word was DOT, standing for Daughters of Tradition. Beautiful, Barbara. Indigo says, I chose love. Relatives, you guys are amazing. Love all of you. You know, for the past year, we've had these prints behind me. I know a lot of our relatives have seen them, maybe wondered what they were. And so I have a host sister from Japan I had when I was in high school. That was a very long time ago. And she gave us these prints. They're woodblock prints, but it reminded me, because we're talking about water and our relatives are drinking water. This is a sign here for water, because they're from Japan. And then here's a big pot of water. And then on this other side here, This makes me think of our First Nations, all of our Indigenous, Native relatives, because this is a farmer. It's hard to tell, but he's got like a bat, and then he's got a net for and then he's got this big bowl here for when he goes ricing. So it makes me think of all of our Indigenous relatives out there. I want to say mahalo nui loa. Thank you so much for joining us this morning, relatives, and for starting your week off with love, with happiness, with joy, with healing, with responsibility, whatever your word was when you breathed today. Thank you for sharing your own wellness practices and the way that you walk your path of self-care and mental health. You're inspiring others in this circle of care. Malama ponoi kokino. Take good, righteous care of your body and your mind and your heart and your spirit. Aloha nui, huge love to you all out there. You deserve love. You are love. And if you need some love, you can call our Cares Warm line. Before we go, there is a community survey that's linked to this video. It's completely anonymous and asks just a few questions. Please, relatives, take a moment to complete this survey. This is how we're able to keep our services completely free. We will never ask you for an insurance card. It does not matter to us if you have one or not. The survey is how we are able to continue not only to offer these services, but understand how best to serve you. I also want to say that it is Sexual Assault Awareness Month this April. If you need help, if you need resources, if you need some support, if you or someone you know are experiencing sexual assault, sexual violence, or maybe has never come forward to talk about it and you want to let it out, do know that you can call our Cares Warm line. We are love. Thank you, Barbara. And together we can heal. That's community activated medicine. That is this circle of care. And that is any care that you seek through the HIR Wellness Institute. You are not alone, relatives. Enjoy this beautiful, warm summer day. Ahui ho akuno. We'll see you later. Hope to see you tomorrow at 8 a.m. And aloha.